Yo, yo, yo. What is up? Peace and blessings. Sending you love. Sending you all the good vibes. Welcome back to the Burnell Washburn podcast. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Thank you for tuning in today. I've got another quick mini mobile episode for you. Just to share some feelings that were coming to my heart, some ideas to help boost your day up a little. So I was just watching these vlogs that I've been really touched by unexpectedly about hiking the Pacific Coast Trail, which is a trail that spans from Mexico to Canada. First time I ever heard of it, I immediately made it a bucket list goal in my life. I'm like, I'm going to go hike the PCT someday for sure, just because I was so touched by this vlog. And one of the coolest things about that trail and about a lot of these long hiking trails hiking is an understatement of the year. It's backpacking for months on end, you know what I'm saying? Going from walking on foot from, Mexico all the way up to Canada. And it looks gorgeous the whole way. It looks like such an amazing experience to learn about yourself, to make lifelong family, to meet cool people out on the trail, to connect with nature. So I'm trying to get to a point in my life where, I see myself doing that years down the road when I'm quite a bit older. And, I'm not really trying to miss that many months of my daughter's childhood right now, for really any reason. So whether it be a tour or a long hike or anything that sounds fulfilling to me, I kind of want to put that off because nothing feels, more fulfilling than being there for my daughter. And obviously I need to live my own life and do lots of fun, fulfilling stuff for myself too. But I just cherish every moment that I get with her, and it goes by so fast. So definitely wouldn't want to do it anytime soon. But I really want to go on the Pacific Coast Trail, or the Pacific Crest Trail, I think that's what it is. And then there's another one that goes through France, Switzerland, and Italy. That looks incredible. And, there's these cool backpacker trails. And along these trails, there's a thing called trail magic, which is where volunteers show up on the trail to make food and serve and give to hikers. They don't go on there to try to make money off hikers. They just, out of the kindness of their heart, they will go set up. And there's people that do this, they camp out for days at a time and just provide all this meals for every hiker that comes through. Fresh water and just good stories and good vibes and good company. And they get blessed because they meet all these cool hikers and they get so much out of it, but they're not doing it to get anything out of it. They're doing it simply from the kindness of their heart to just give back and spread love, because they're just I know hikers, maybe they live somewhat close to the trail, and they're just I know hikers come through here, I want to go set up a bunch of food and cook for them. And these people that do trail magic go above and beyond. They're not just here's some, here's some water and some chips or something like that. They're making handmade pizzas for these cats. They're doing above and beyond to make these hikers as comfortable and supported and loved as possible. And they're complete strangers, when you set up to do trail magic, you don't know anyone that's, you don't know the people that are going to be coming through for the most part. You don't know any of the hikers. You're just saying random strangers are going to walk through here and they're going to stumble across our setup, and we are going to just hook them the fuck up. We're going to make them feel so satisfied and so replenished and supported. And so that, when you hike the Pacific Crest Trail, there's a good portion of your meals, are coming from this trail magic. California, especially in parts of California and Oregon, people are just dope like that. And there's people like that all over the world that just seek to be of service for no particular reason, from their heart. They're not doing it to get anything back. They're just doing it just because they feel called to be of service and spread love and help people. And it's not just trail magic, it's people in all walks of life in every single city on the planet Earth, every single day of existence. There's people just doing nice things for other humans simply just to do it, just because they can. And I almost just cried watching this older guy was, doing trail magic, and they interviewed him and asked him about it, and he just, all his answer was so simple. He said, I'm just so grateful to even be able to do this. Grateful that he's able to give, grateful that maybe he's retired or gotten to a point in his life where he just has enough abundance and surplus to dedicate time and energy and resources towards just giving because he wants to. And he's just so grateful for that. He didn't say, because I get so much out of it too, and blah, blah, blah. He's just I'm just grateful to be able to do this. The fact that I'm able to give anything is just makes me very grateful. And, that's the best mindset. I love that. There's so many beautiful beings listening to this podcast right now, even that are generous, good people, and you do things like that for others. So I commend you, I respect you, I appreciate you for that kindness that you offer humanity. It's so needed, it's so appreciated, and there's no such thing as an act of kindness that's too small. Anything that you do to genuinely be of service to another is so beneficial for humanity and yourself. You get out of your own head when you shine the light on someone else, on who you can serve. You get out of your own problems and worries when you're thinking about what can I give rather than what's in it for me. It's like the secret to life. It's the key to so many of our problems and challenges when we're just too focused on our own problems and our own flaws and our own circumstances. But when we switch that to being the giver and what can we give and what value can we add to another person's life, all of a sudden it's like our problems just disappear and go away or work themselves out. And it's just, you've heard me talk about the flashlight metaphor. At any given time you're holding a flashlight and you can either shine it on yourself or you can shine it on the people that you're trying to serve. And when you're shining it on yourself, you're often exposing your own flaws and insecurities and whatever fears, and so you might paralyze yourself in a little bit of fear by shining the light on yourself too much. Versus when you shine it out onto who you're serving, you have so much more courage because you're there to give. It's not about you. It's about something bigger than you. Even when I perform shows, I perform for thousands of people all across the country and all sorts of strangers, and it takes courage to get on stage and do that and express my heart and spill my soul open because I make pretty vulnerable music, and to expose that to people takes courage. But when I'm all about shining the light on me, about what are they going to think of me, and are they going to like me, and is my set going to be dope, are they going to accept me and love me and think that I'm tight and want to work with me, and are the promoters going to be happy, and is the fans going to be happy, and what if they don't like me, all that stuff. It's about me, and it makes me insecure as fuck and makes me a weaker performer. But as soon as I switch that light around to, no, it's not about me, I'm just here to serve. I'm like an overflowing well of love and good vibes, and I'm just coming here to spill that out onto people, to help them have fun, to help them enjoy their night more, to inspire, to uplift, to entertain. It's not about how cool I am or how amazing my skills are. It's about what can I give to the situation. It's not about how much money I'm making or how many new fans I'm getting either. It's about who can I go inspire tonight? Who can I uplift? Who can I make smile? Because I know when I go to music concerts, it inspires and uplifts me, and there's a good performer usually makes me laugh and makes me feel comfortable in my own skin, and maybe gets me thinking a little bit or gets me emotional about a certain topic or an issue that might lead me to, switching up some type of behavior or taking some sort of action. They might get me moving and dancing and using my physiology in a different way. And I notice when I watch good performers, they're shining all the light on the crowd, and it's like they end up shining the brightest by doing that. But they're shining all the light on who they're serving, rather than just like, it's all about me, me, me. And they have a we versus a we over me mindset. It's all about we, not just me. And I just notice any time in my life when I shift to be of service, everything gets better and just works out for me. I had this, there was a time when I was really stressed out and down on myself and feeling discouraged and feeling low self-esteem because Christmas was coming up and I didn't have money to buy presents for anybody. I didn't have gifts for all these amazing people in my family and friends that have done so much for me and helped me out so much and been there for me and been generous to me. And here I am, I'm just feeling all pathetic and not worthy because I don't have anything to give to them. And I was all in my own head about it for a week and just feeling really down and low. And then one day I shifted my energy genuinely out of the kindness of my heart. I looked at a book on my shelf and I thought, oh, my cousin would like this book. He genuinely, this would actually be a really good gift for him. Okay. And it's in nice new condition. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up and give it to him. And then I walk into my drawer and I see something else it was one of those Amazon Alexa dots that I'd never have used, and it was brand new. And I said, I bet my grandma would like this because she could get, she actually shops on Amazon a lot, and she is always playing music in her house and blah. I just thought, I don't even have internet in my house, so there's no way for me to even use it. And it had just been sitting in there forever anyway, so I said, oh, my grandma, this would actually be a nice thing to give to my grandma. It actually would benefit her life. Okay, wrap that up and give it to her. And then I just kept going through my house and finding more and more stuff to give. And it ended up being the best emotional day that I had in a few weeks. I started feeling so good. Next thing I know, by the end of that day, I had my whole entire kitchen table was just covered in gifts that I was preparing to give. And I felt so grateful that I was able to give. I got out of worrying about my own problems and stresses and how am I going to pay this bill and how am I going to buy this, and instead was just I could give this and give this, and I just switched. It was just about giving, and I wasn't judging myself for how much the things cost or didn't cost or whatever, or how what the people were going to think of it. I genuinely just had a heartfelt thought for each person of this would improve their life and I would enjoy giving this to them. And I swear everything shifted. All of a sudden that day, I randomly sold a couple beats. And I remember I received a random gift, an unexpected gift of $200 out of nowhere from someone. Which was just it was crazy. It was I shifted my whole energy and I wasn't thinking about getting anything back. I just the focus wasn't on myself at all. It was on what I could give and who I could serve. And, it's not just about material giving. These are just examples. A lot of times it's the only thing I have to give is recording a podcast or making a video or a hug or a smile or holding a door open for someone. It's not about what you're giving or how big or how small. It's about how much love is in the giving and what the intention behind it is. So anytime I shift and to giving and serving from a genuine intention, not because I think, okay, I need my vibrations off, I need to get back on a good frequency, so I need to give, or I need to develop some good karma or something like that. Nothing like that. Or sometimes I've donated money in the past because I wanted people to like me before, and I saw they were doing fundraisers, and if I donate to their fundraiser, maybe they'll like me more. And it's that's not the right intention for giving either. Although it still helps people when you give, it's just giving genuinely just because you think you just are inspired and called to feels so good. So anytime we can shift our focus to who we can serve, everything gets so much better for us. We get out of our own head and we stop all the resistance, because a lot of times the very thing that's creating what we don't want is the fact that we're focusing on it so much and we're worrying about it so much and stressing on it so much. As soon as we think about serving others, we don't have as much time to worry about our own problems, and so like the resistance subsides because we're not just sitting there focusing on loop about what we're scared of. Instead, like we're on a whole different vibration, and we're on and the frequency of giving is the same frequency as receiving. So, and I mean, they're two sides of the same coin, really. And when you tap into, you can't really fully tap into one without tapping into the other, and vice versa. And I've heard a lot of successful people say things like, it's impossible to like give too much. You just keep giving and it keeps coming back more and more and more. And it's like, I've heard people say it's like a race, like almost it's like hard to give away their money because it keeps coming back faster and faster. The more they keep giving away, the more it keeps coming back. And it's like almost becomes difficult to get, you couldn't possibly give it out because it just keeps flowing because you're on such a frequency of abundance and prosperity. And not just with money, this is with love and kindness and your time and your energy and all that. So I just wanted to come on here today real quick and just remind you of that, of like, how can you be of service? Anytime I'm of service, I feel better about myself. I sleep better at night. And it doesn't mean that my self-worth is determined on me serving or not. Like, that's separate. My self-worth, the self-esteem is I'm amazing and magical and divine regardless of who I serve or what I serve or what I give or don't give. Like, I'm just intrinsically divine and nothing could change that. However, I think part of my mission was here to enrich the lives of others and be a generous soul. So it feels good when I do that. And I love feeling good, and I just love the energy of serving and giving. If I can do one little thing to make anyone's life better, it feels like a good use of my energy. It's so much better than thinking about my problems or my desires that haven't manifested yet, or even just random, other stuff. Like when I'm in the spirit of giving and trying to enrich others' lives, I feel so good about myself. I feel so fulfilled, and then everything that I want just seems to just magnetize towards me like effortlessly. So I urge you to think about how you can be of service in any room that you enter. How can you make that room better? How can you uplift the energy? And it doesn't have to be through something physical that you give. It's just, a lot of times, like, I have a homie that's really energetic and stoked. Every time he comes in the room, he gets so hyped. He's like, "What's up, dude? Yeah, bro. Dude, it's good to see you. Give me a hug, dog." Like, he just gets so stoked, and like, he's just like really animated and really lit up, and like, that's his gift to humanity. Like, every time he encounters me, he lightens up my energy. Just even thinking about it gets me a little more hyped. Like, let's go. And so that could be your gift. That could be something that you give, I give unconditional love and compassion to strangers, to everyone. One of the affirmations that I write every single morning is that I enrich the lives of every being I encounter. So whether it's a deer when I'm up hiking in the mountains, which I just saw a bunch of yesterday, and like super up close, and it was amazing, or the birds flying by my house, or random cars driving past my house, or the person on the phone when I'm dealing with some type of customer service issue, or the cashier at the cash register when I'm getting groceries. No matter what being that I come across, I want to enrich their life. I want their life to be slightly better than it would have been if they hadn't encountered me, or I want it to at least just be slightly better during our interaction than it, would have been without. So if I can crack a little, like one of my homies is really good at getting on these vibes with like cashiers at like gas stations or just food places, anywhere we go when we're out traveling. He's able to like break ice with strangers really quickly and make them laugh right off the bat and build connection and build a little bit of chemistry with them like instantly. And it's really cool to see how he enriches people's lives just by being his fun, authentic, silly self who doesn't care what you think of him and isn't afraid to make a fool of himself and all that, And so he'll go out and just crack jokes and makes funny small talk with strangers, and he enriches their day. Their moment during that interaction is usually a little brighter and a little more fun and silly, and they might just feel a little better than they would have without him. Like, there was a time when we pulled up to this gas station on the Highway 101 and the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH in California. We were driving down the PCH, I think near like San Luis Obispo, a little bit south of Big Sur. Pulled off at this gas station, and we see this guy. I'll call him a gentleman because he was a gentleman. He gets out of the car and immediately walks around to his wife or his girlfriend's door and opens the door for her and like grabs her hand and just like gentleman as fuck, like really what all men should probably do for all women in our lives. I need to start being like, better with that. Usually I'm opening the door for my little one because it's difficult for her to open it herself. But anyway, I see him, he sees this guy like open the door and he goes, man, that guy's a gentleman. And so what he does is he's in the gas station and he sees there's some flowers there. So he buys a rose and he goes and gives it to that guy who was a gentleman. And I can't remember if it was a rose or if it was some type of flower. But anyway, gives the flower to the gentleman and says, here, go give this to your girl. And like he goes and gives it to her, surprises like from behind, pulls it basically from behind his back, and we look over and we just see this couple making out super hard. And the guy looks over at us and just like gives us 2 thumbs up, and the whole crowd, like the whole car that we were in, because we were on tour with a handful of cats, we all just start cheering. We're just like, yeah, dude, like it was a dope moment where we just enriched the lives of this couple, or my homie at least enriched the lives of this couple just for no reason, for being fun, and just because he felt like it. He wasn't, he wasn't scared of what was going to happen or not, because some people might be like offended. You try to hand them a rose and be like, give this to your girl. They might, like, there's some dudes that are all insecure and weird and might be like, fuck you, what the fuck? But this guy was like super receptive and dope, and it was cool to watch moments like that traveling with my buddy and just noticing how he enriches all these lives just by being himself. So it's not always about giving monetarily. It's a lot of times just who can you be, who can you show up as to make the room a little bit brighter, make every place that you go benefit because you were there. Every conversation that you have, can you uplift the person, or can their life be a little bit better from coming into contact with you? And if you go into life with that intention, that's like one of the most pure, beautiful intentions you could possibly live on. And it'll naturally unfold. If you have the intention to provide value and to enrich lives, you'll naturally find yourself doing it without even trying, just because you set the intention to do so. So in the mornings, start affirming that, say, I enrich the lives of every being I encounter, or create your own version of that affirmation, and start saying it, and start believing it, and start acting on it, and start shifting. Anytime you get too worried and up in your head about your own problems, immediately shift to like, okay, who can I help right now? What's one tiny thing that I could do for one person right now that would make their day better? There was a time in my life where I didn't have any money to give, and I desperately wanted to give and be of service and really wanted to make the world a better place. And I felt like, no one's really watching my YouTube videos, and I don't have that money to donate, and, I don't have some big audience or influence where people are going to really take my advice or whatever, and, what can I give? So I started writing notes and leaving them on people's cars. And sometimes I put a $1 bill in there because I was trying to work on my money frequency as well. And so I try to, just give away $1 or $2 to some random strangers. But I would write these notes that would say, like, you are loved and appreciated more than you'll ever know. Good things are coming your way. Stuff like that. Just really positive messages and my intention always was whoever finds this is going to, like, walk up to their car and be like, oh, what the fuck is this note? Usually when you see a note on your car, it's not good. So immediately their nervous system might be like going and have a tendency to drop into fight or flight just by seeing the note. But then they grab it and they look at it and it completely turns their day around and then just like brightens them up. And they're like, and like, I'm never there. I've never once been there to see. Actually, I think I might have once seen someone. Yeah, I did once. But I'm usually never there to see someone open the note that I put on their car and see their reaction to it. Because I don't care. I'm just giving it like to a complete stranger. I feel inspired to put it on a certain car, so I put it on that car and just trust the universe that the message will be received by the right person. And who knows how people react, but it feels good to give in that way. It feels good to, like, there were several months where I'd wake up and do that first thing in the morning. Right when I wake up, go on a walk, put a nice note on someone's car. And not only was it good for me to be on a morning walk out in the sunshine, to help my health and circadian rhythms and all that, but I was also being of service first thing. So then I started developing this mindset of, I'm a generous person. I'm a giver. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. And good people deserve good things. And good people deserve good lives. And so the more good person type things that I do, the more I believe that I deserve the benefits of being a good person. The more I, believe that I deserve to prosper and thrive. Because I really believe I'm a good dude. And, a good dude deserves to have, like, an awesome life. And, I mean, everyone deserves to have an awesome life regardless. It's just easier to feel like you're worthy of that when you're consciously doing things that you perceive as good for the world, The more I give, the more I'm like, okay, it's okay for me to receive because I'm nice, dude. Every time I get money, I donate it. Not all of it. I donate a good amount of it. Like, I donate every time I get my Patreon payout from you guys every month. I immediately, the very first thing that I do when that hits my PayPal, I don't wait 3 seconds before I'm on charitywater.com donating a portion of that. So, I mean, you guys are helping give access to people, access to clean water, to people that are suffering without it, that are getting sick without it, So I start to believe that I'm more worthy of, like, okay, yeah, like, I deserve to have tons of Patreon supporters and tons of fucking beat sales and tons of coaching clients and tons of all my events selling out and getting paid tons for my music and all that because, I'm a good dude and good people do good things when they make good money. The more money a good person makes, the more good things are going to happen in the world. I want all the good people to just be like balling out. I want you guys to all have tons of money so you can do amazing things for people. And it's just so much easier to start to believe that you're deserving of good things when you're consciously seeking to add value rather than what's in it for me, You're just trying to be a good person and then it all comes back, You get what you give and that's all like this whole circle. So the more you can just train your whole entire being to be of service, the happier and healthier and more fulfilled your whole entire life will be. I promise you that. It's impossible to give too much. It just keeps coming back as long as you're doing it from the right intention and as long as you're filling yourself up first so you're overflowing. So you have plenty to give and share and just use your authentic spirit. That's really what the world needs the most from you because you're the only one that can deliver that. You're the only one that can speak with your exact voice, with your exact perspective. So share that medicine with the world. Share your unique spirit with all of us and, that's the best way you can really be of service. It doesn't mean being of service does not synonymous with you suffering or you having less or you have to make sacrifices in order to serve. I believe that's a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset is more, hey, I get to serve. I'm so blessed that I get to serve. And like I said, that guy on the Pacific Crest Trail is just like, I'm so grateful I get to do this. Be grateful that you get to serve and do it from the right intention, and know that, like, people need your medicine. People need your authentic spirit. Do it from a place of knowing that you're just going to get more back, and not worrying about whether anything comes back or not. Just trust in the universe. I'm going to give her this right now because I feel called to. I feel called to share this. And the more you keep doing that, the more it will keep coming back. And know that it's not about, you don't have to make all these sacrifices and become a martyr in order to do that. You can give enormously just by being in your joy, by being in your bliss, by having fun, by doing what lights you up. And I honestly believe that that's the best way to serve. I believe the best way that any of us can serve humanity is to follow our dreams, to follow our heart, to do what lights us up the most. Because when we do that, we just radiate this energy that benefits others. Us being in our magic, being in our power, gives people, I don't want to say permission, but it helps people live in their power, and it just helps ignites that same flame within them. So you don't need to martyr yourself or sacrifice in order to be of service, because I think a lot of people think of that when they think of service, of like, well, so then they put it off because, like, oh, later in life, once I have everything that I want and I've got it made and I got billions of dollars in the bank, then I'll be nice and I'll give and I'll be a philanthropist and all that. I think that's kind of backwards. I think the more we give now, authentically, from our creativity, from our hearts, from just our authentic nature, the more that we will be able to keep giving, and then we'll get everything that we want, and we'll be super blessed because we're just in that state of like, hey, we're following our bliss, we're being in our joy, we're doing what lights us up, and through that we're serving. We're serving by having fun, by enjoying our lives, by activating heaven on earth. When you activate heaven on earth frequency code for yourself, you activate that for the collective, because we're all one energy together. So the more people that activate heaven on earth frequency within themselves, the more all of us thrive. And that's really the best thing that you can do for anyone. So seek to be of service and do it in ways that feel aligned and connected to your joy. And I promise you, your life will just keep getting better. Anytime things are feeling a bit off, check in with yourself and see who can you serve. What's one little text that you can send right now? I used to do that a lot, just sending nice texts out to people that I maybe hadn't talked to in a minute. Just, hey brother, I just wanted to say I love you so much and I miss you. I know I haven't seen you in a while, but just want to say I really appreciate this and this and that about you, and that time you did da-da-da-da-da, and I want to say you're such a good person, and I'm just always sending you good vibes, and if you need anything, hit me up, bro. I love you. And just sending some nice message like that, or just really complimenting and even just a compliment. Yo, your shirt looks fresh right now, and yo, that's a sick ass jacket, bro. Where'd you get that? Or you're looking good. You've been working out, like little stuff like that. That can be like some of the biggest service you can do. You never know how much a little compliment like that might mean to someone. They might cherish that forever. That might help them shift their whole identity. When someone, first thing they say to me, they see me and they say like, damn, bro, you've been looking shredded, bro. I need to hit the gym with you or something like that. I feel so good about myself, and they just gave me a massive boost in confidence. And not to say that, that's a whole other episode, because confidence really comes from something else, and it comes from keeping my word to myself, and all that. It doesn't come from what other people say about me. However, that's still an act of service, and I'll take it, and I appreciate when people are kind. Like, I don't let that build my whole self-esteem or my whole self-image by any means, because that could be very, very toxic. But there's statements people have said that have stuck with you, that you've remembered for years. A lot of times we'll remember negative statements for a long time. So what could you do to just boost someone up? And even if you just got them, like you walk in a room and you compliment the way someone looks, and they all of a sudden they feel less insecure for the next few hours because now they think they have your approval and they don't need to impress you, and they can open up and relax a little bit and just be themselves a little bit more, because they feel like we're all judging each other in so many ways, and it's not like we don't like being judged necessarily. It's like we don't like being judged negatively. We actually like it when people judge us in a positive way. Someone says, Burnell Washburn's music is dope as fuck. That's a judgment, or Burnell, you're such a good person. That's a judgment. But it's a positive judgment, and I like it. Boost my ego a little bit and it feels good. So when you go out of your way to compliment someone, they go, oh, this person judges me in a positive way, and then they drop their guard down. Otherwise, they're scared that you're judging them in a negative way. If you don't say anything, they automatically assume that you probably are judging them in a negative way, or you're just neutral. So seek and do it, genuinely. If you really think someone's coat is ugly, don't tell them it's a fresh coat. Just keep your mouth to yourself if you don't have anything nice to say. But, you get what I mean. There's so many ways to serve, big and small, whether it's donating money or giving a compliment or sending a nice text or just being you, being your fun, authentic self and loving yourself. That's the biggest act of service to humanity, is just love yourself. Love yourself more and more than ever. So the more you do that, the more all of us can love you, and the more we can love ourselves, and everything can just thrive when you fill yourself up. So that's the biggest service. And then just set the intention every day to enrich the lives of every being that you encounter. Plants, animals, spaces, rooms that you walk in. You're walking down the sidewalk. That's a space that you're in right now. That's a place in time that you're at. And how can you improve that sidewalk? Can you pick up a piece of trash? I was in a public restroom the other day, and I noticed a little bit of a mess, and I cleaned up just a tiny bit of this mess to make it more pleasant for the next person that came in. And I didn't have to do that. That wasn't my job, but it was a tiny little way that was easy for me to serve. And it's a tiny, tiny act of service. The next person wouldn't have even necessarily known that it was like that or not, but they didn't have to walk into the same thing I walked into, and I blessed the next human just in a tiny, tiny way on that one small act. And if the more I set intentions to be of service, the better my life keeps getting. So I don't know why I'm never gonna say that an episode is a mini episode again, because I'm pretty sure I don't even do mini episodes. Once I start talking, I think of another idea, and then another idea, and then I ramble like 18 tangents on each idea that could have been a 5-minute episode. I guess I just like talking, so that's why I have a podcast. And if you are listening this far in, then obviously you're resonating with this, and it's adding value to your life. So if you got any value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you shared it out with at least one person. If you went to patreon.com/Burnell Washburn and checked out the incentives there, if you can donate $5 or $10 or $20 a month towards the cause, helps me spread the message, fulfill my soul's mission, and just it feels really good when you guys support me like that. So anything you can do really to help this stuff, whether it's leaving a review or sending me a message, it just means the absolute world to me, and I really appreciate you guys helping me grow and impact people, because we really are making people's lives better with this podcast. There is people that are adopting new, healthier habits. They're getting rid of soda. They're starting to go out in nature more. They're starting to take cold showers. They're starting to meditate. They're practicing qigong. They're journaling. They're just thinking things from a different perspective. They're shifting mindsets. All this stuff is helping humanity thrive. And if you can be of service today just by leaving me a review or doing one little thing to help this spread, and that can have a ripple effect. When I believe that when I go help the influencers that I listen to, I comment on their stuff even though they have I could think, oh man, there's hundreds and hundreds of comments, they're not going to read it. But I'm like, oh, that one extra comment boosts this up in the algorithm that much more and helps more people see this rather than some bullshit. You know, anything that I believe in online, I try to share, screenshot, spread, and like I can't do everything because otherwise I'd be, my whole feed would just be nothing but other people's content. But I do my best to be of service to the people that are providing value to me by thanking them for their content, by sharing it, by tagging homies, by anything I can do to spread their message. I feel like that has a ripple effect because it's just like, all right, I'm serving through others. I'm serving humanity just by spreading awareness about some other content that someone else had made to serve humanity. So I know that's kind of a tongue twister mouthful, but you got my point. If you can do something to share this out, that would definitely help. And you can check off your little act of service today because that's a beautiful thing, and we're making an impact on this. So much love. I really appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk from the heart. I will be back with season 2 very soon. New equipment, new podcast studio. It's going to start sounding super crisp. You're not even going to recognize me. You're going to be like, damn, young Bernie is a whole new podcaster. It's going to be ill. That's coming soon. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying these mobile episodes. And with that said, I love you so much. I will see you soon on another episode. Peace and blessings. Go create an amazing rest of your day. Get stoked. You are the creator of your own reality. You can be, do, and have anything. You deserve all the blessings. Much love, y'all. Talk to you soon.